Okay, so now we are going to make our own tomato sauce. I know you guys think this is like too much, but I'm telling you it's so easy. We get onions, don't we? We get a bag of onions. We have plenty of onions. And we usually also get fresh tomatoes. So I've got some old tomatoes from the farmer's market. Some old tomatoes that I think I got in one of the food bags that was in the refrigerator. So I'm going to definitely rinse these and use these in my tomato sauce. Old tomatoes are the best. And if they're going old, you pop them in the freezer, you can use them directly frozen, just put them into your sauce, okay? So it'll be fresh old tomatoes. Then I've got really canned plum tomatoes are the best. So I've got a can of plum tomatoes. And then I also have a can of diced tomatoes and juice. That cooks down really quickly. And then I'm going to put a little tomato paste in. I'm actually going to fry the tomato paste after I saute onion and garlic, and it gives this depth of flavor to the tomato sauce without having to let it simmer for a long time. So we're going to do a quick tomato sauce, and then I'm going to add some pepper. I'm going to add some fresh black pepper. Remember, I'm not doing any salt because this is going to go in with the processed meat. So, or we have it on the side. You can always add salt as you serve it, but I don't cook with salt. I just try to keep that inflammation and sodium down. And then some fresh basil that I actually got. Some of us got it in our food bag last week. I picked this up from the farmer's market, and of course I keep it on the counter in water. That kind of helps keep it fresh. So we'll have fresh basil inside the tomato sauce. It's going to be great. I usually add the fresh basil at the end. And what else do we have? And then I'll probably, when I fix the sauce, just add some dry basil leaves. I want to have a really, really deep basil flavor. All right, okay, so let's get started putting all of this together in a skillet on the stove. I guess I'll dice and chop, and I'll do that really quickly. All right. Oops, I lost a little bitty one. Beautiful. And now I think we're ready to, we've got our tomatoes, garlic, onion. I'll do the dry basil, I'll take that to the stove, and let me open up the cans, and then I'll meet you at the stove. Okay, I put a little olive oil in our hot skillet. I'm actually going to turn this down because this needs to go really quick. Start off with our onions. Oil over here. I want to be really careful of the garlic. I absolutely don't want this to burn. It will turn bitter and it will ruin your tomato sauce. So take this kind of nice and slow. Once we get, what we're going to do is we're going to fry. Yes, we're going to fry on high tomato paste. I'm going to just use maybe half of a can. And then what you can do with tomato paste is then you put it in a little bag and put it in the freezer immediately. Because this is, once again, this is open. So let's take a look. I'll fry it. It gives this depth of flavor, y'all. Put a little more olive oil. Now we're putting in the fresh tomatoes. All this is on high, y'all. All this is high temperature. Put a little more oil. Don't want it to burn. But all those bits at the bottom, y'all, is part of our sauce. So this is kind of like our concentrate. I think this is also a good time to put in the basil. A little more olive oil. Alright, now let's put in the can of tomato juice. When I tell you this already has so much flavor, it is kind of like a tomato roux, you know, because we're going to dilute it with the chicken broth. It's in the pot. Looks like we've got all that stuff at the bottom. Y'all, it looks so good. Smells good too. And no salt, y'all, no salt. Okay, now let's put our sauteed onion and garlics that are translucent back in. Keep it on high, keep it on high. You really want this to be concentrated, and you want those little tomatoes to bust open and start breaking down. You can see they already are. And the ones, of course, that I sliced, you see there's already broken down. This is the broth, the chicken broth that's just been on warm, that we melted our ice cubes, but for you, this is just your chicken broth. So now we're going to combine the two in the pot, and then I'll make a decision. Let's see. Yeah. Then I'll make a decision if I use the other can that I've already opened. So let's do this nice and gentle. Nice and gentle. Smells so good. See that? And then just cut them in the can. This is the way my mom used to do it when she was making tomato sauce for oxtails. But I think she used a knife. I don't think she used kitchen scissors. See? It makes it easier for it to reduce. And the lid off for a while. Looks really good, y'all. Nice and thick. Once again, this is nothing but tomatoes, garlic, onions, dried basil, and ground pepper. That's it. And this is our tomato sauce, y'all. The other thing that I like to keep it cooked down and keep it really nice, thick, and chunky. But for those of you who like just a smooth tomato sauce, all you have to do is strain it. I may show you that. But anyway, let's do the last thing. I'm going to turn it down to a simmer. I'm going to put these, we chopped up basil. And I just like putting it at the very end. So it just really keeps a lot of its flavor. Smells so good. Alright, so we'll just let this simmer some more on low heat with the lid on. And let it do its thing. Once I pour a little bit of our, oh my goodness, look at our tomato sauce, y'all. Look at the tomato sauce. Doesn't that look good? Oh my goodness. Look look at it, everything has just cooked down. See what I mean? I can leave this on for another couple of hours and it will just be this smooth, beautiful, concentrated tomato and basil. That's all it is. Onion, tomato, basil, garlic, tomato, tomato, tomato. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? We did it all ourselves. Okay, so now let's... our chicken meatballs. Yummy. Okay, let's go plate this with the mashed potatoes and the cheese. Yummy. Again, meatballs with homemade tomato sauce and basil and cheese and smashed potatoes. Take a little bit of that. Take a little bit of cheese. We got a little stringy going on. And you know what else I'm gonna add, y'all? You know what I'm gonna add? Let's just add a little drizzle. Look at that, look at that. Of our homemade tomato sauce. I'm gonna put the whole thing in my mouth. Should I put the whole thing in my mouth? 1, 2, 3. Let's do it, y'all.